more you don't do anything, or less you do anything, that's the sign of you are looking for or being prepared to find the right thing to do, because that's the indication of you being in samadhi. That's my way of thinking or looking at myself. So if you're busy, that's just fine. You know what to do, probably, and maybe aligned to what you really want to do in your life's mission, and the company mission, the relationship, all of that. But if you settle the direction, or you are to settle the direction so that you're addressing the important thing, or trying to make sure that you have time to wait to find what's the important things to do. So that's the wisdom. To find the wisdom, you need to be in samadhi. You need to have your mind calm and quiet. Because if your mind is busy, you're just processing things. And the processing things can be done by machine. Eventually, AI, you can use the AI to do all the processing, but you know the key thing to work on. So you get the benefit of AI doing the work. But if you don't have AI, and if you are just occupied in your mind, that's what it is. But if you're always busy in your mind, you're just processing things. So the machine can do that eventually in future, as well as right now. If you're processing busily something, in terms of your progress, you are not creating as much, bringing out new wisdom. So that potential may be lost. But to do that, you have to go beyond the confinement of your mind. Am I doing it? Probably not to the degree I should, but that's what I'm working on and sharing here about the samadhi and calm and quiet mind, no self. And one koan you can have to yourself is, what's the right thing? What's the most important thing I have to do now? Do you have the answer? Then go ahead and do that. And hopefully that's connected to the root of your being, the heart, brain, utilized, all the tools and the people you relate to have some framework and, the process to get things going. That's great. But every now and then you want to make sure, because everything changes internally and externally, and so you want to have the calm and quiet time. And as much as society is changing rapidly and we may be aging or growing, things change internally, hormone distribution, all of that, health condition. So every now and then, it's like sailing a boat, and every now and then you put it on the chart where you are and where you want to be. And because of the change of the current and the wind and whatever the condition, you may be off to the right or left, and then again from there on to readjust so that you aim the direction you want to go. So life's journey is similar, and therefore triangulate where you are requires not just processing this, ABC, X, Y, Z, but rather, okay, wait, let me check where I am. Am I still going in the right direction? And have a calm and quiet mind. To convince and connect to the root of who you are, where the energy arises, that's the picture I have. because often that's blocked, and you may block yourself by your mind being busy. You know what you're doing, you know what you're, okay, fine, go do it. But it may not get anywhere because you may be going around. I think there was a story of Mark Twain in the storm. There's a carriage, whatever, the horse was going in certain direction. Well, this must be the case. This must be, yeah, oh, this is better because the truck is getting more deeper and more trucks going in this direction. So he kept on going, thinking that would be the way to go where you want to go, the next town, whatever. And then after a while, he realized that he was going around and around. I like that story. And I'm sure we're doing it. Maybe not you, but I do. So when I do that, okay, I stop it, then retrieve back. How many? Where did I come from? And what was the case and what happened in that? So you go back. That's what I said about this analogy of the brain and the computer. If you get stuck in a computer, you retrieve back to whatever happened to that point and to see where you made a mistake, perhaps. Instead of doing this, you went to the left or right. So you go through that, and if that doesn't solve, then you go backward and backward. They have the term backward propagation. Anyway, going back to the source of where you are. That's another video I shared. And that's so true about the computer, but our mind is the same. So it's kind of like, you call it a deductive. You separate things and go this, that, and that. And then you find that you're not in the right place. Then where did you get lost? Like going backward in the hiking trail, and then you have to go backward unless you jump forward. And if you cannot get wherever you want to go, eventually, you may get really lost or still come back to where you made a mistake and restart. So restarting, readjusting, rebooting, reassessing where you are and what's important, this way or this way. How does that heart tell you? So finally get to the point of going beyond the mind or underneath the mind, whatever the term, to see why I'm here, what I'm doing. It is the right thing to do. That may be exaggeration, but maybe not at all. Maybe today's world, it's natural for us to get lost. And that's part of fun to explore life. If you don't get lost, what's the point of doing it, right? So there's something, the potential. Sometimes it may be nirvana that people may seek for it, but be careful. You may have nirvana inside of you. Or, well, maybe I shouldn't go there. Anyway, the point is that every now and then have calm and quiet mind, samadhi. And if you have more time, like I mentioned, the cloud of the unknown, I think Mary or whoever stopped doing things, and the other person, Martha, maybe just cleaning up and complaining to Jesus, why is she not doing the job? And Jesus said, it's okay. She's doing important stuff. So if you sweep, that's fine. It's really important. Let's do that. But there are cases for us to stop. And in my case, I think I may be spending more time on doing not as much. Or you may be doing some monotonous job. So the mind is empty. Like this story of what's the name of his name? I always forget. Sharihanduk, who is the disciple of Buddha, who is retarded, and he was told to sweep, and then get enlightened. If that's important. So, what's the point of this? Quiet time. I may have to monitor. Maybe it's interesting. This is basically the percentage of non-thinking time. And used to say 80% rule by Eckhart Tolle, because he said his time, 80% of his time is in samadhi. His word is in the moment. It's the same thing. In the moment, you are not using your mind. Well, you may be, but usually you are in the state of being aware. And appears you're not doing anything. But you're not doing anything in the brain because you're cleaning up, kind of rebooting the brain, which I talked about. I talked about everything, actually. But I need to remind, and this is the angle I'm pointing with this video, that we may have more time, really appear to be doing nothing, but create the moment, intentionally even. And the time for meditation is for that, but during the day, you may stop and have a cup of tea. There's a saying up on my kitchen which says, have a cup of tea. That's a famous saying of a Zen master, what's his name? Joshu, that's in Japanese. Have a cup of tea. Empty your mind. If the glass is full of water, take the water out, empty it, put the new fresh air, not in air water. It could be in the case of air. Breathe in, breathe out. All the thought, delusion, whatever has happened, move on so that you don't carry the stuff to the next day. That's the Bible saying, right? Or during the day you can stop, have a cup of tea. In samadhi. To align yourself, the mission, or connecting to your heart, and throw away, put things in the right place. Yeah, organizing is a good idea to do that. To stop and clean up, or fix things, dedicate. So the conventional way is you have to do this, you have to do that. And all the TV program and the work and the advertisement says, do this, do that, go there, take a picture, and this is interesting. So a bunch of those stuff coming in. And you have to have a sweeping job done. It's common sense, right? By now you may be bored. You want to do something? Be my guest. Thank you. So tree is growing. Well, it appears tree is not doing anything. Something is manifesting. The energy is flowing. Avoiding to go where the blockage is. And in the case of the breathing, and the blood circulating and the lung functioning, not to be tight up here or here or here in the stomach. So the blockage may be loosened up. Now you have the energy and the clarity in mind. Thank you.